Yes. Yes, thank you, Faris Malim. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Tahir Malim. Wow, very inspiring, because for me it was like really, how to say, I was amazed to hear all of those initiatives, what you have done. It's really brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm the Youth Climate Champion for COP29, as mentioned by Faris Malim. I will be trying to make sure that all the youth and children voices are heard. As you mentioned, we're not the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of today. And that's in our hands, in the hands of our children, and their life, their health is at the stake. That's why I'll be trying to do my best to make sure that we succeed in this process. Thank you.
Let's not forget that also Leyla manages non-aligned movement youth network. So how many countries are in non-aligned?
121 countries.
I think that some countries that are in non-aligned movement are also in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So you are working in the same geographic area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from students, from young leaders? Maybe you will have some project ideas about environmental protection. Please raise your hand. Feel free. Yes, please. Introduce yourself. Yeah, it's working.
Thanks. My name is Elman Hasanli. My actual father and mother also works in Azerbaijan Holding. That my father personally, I think, Mr. Tahir, he's Sardar Hasanli from Mimishli. I have a question to Baroness Patricia, Mrs. Patricia. I think in latest years we have the exponential growth in artificial intelligence. In 90s and 20s, even 2 years ago, we didn't have so much development in this revolutionary things that in humanity we didn't have this type of development. We had industrializing things that made easier of our works, but in artificial intelligence actually create the ideas that can actually help our future. What do you think about until 2029 we will have so much development in this area? What do you think about this artificial intelligence? It's my question.
Well, I think it's critically important. It's anticipated that artificial intelligence and digital creativity will add about $15.7 trillion to the world's economy by 2030. That's exponential growth. If you look at the ability of AI, it has the ability to transform almost every single aspect of the work we do. So we'll be able to collate data more easily, aggregate it, disaggregate it. We'll be able to bring disciplines which are now disparate together, merging those data sets, and to be able to formulate solutions much more quickly. In health, they think that the computations, some of which would take about 100 years now, could be distilled and be undertaken in a matter of months. Some other calculations in a matter of weeks, others days, others seconds. So this is a real revolution, technological, that we've never seen before. And we in the Commonwealth understood that. And we had been working on digitalization and the development since about 2018. And then for some strange and quite extraordinary reason, we were focused at a time when other people were focusing on what we were doing. And in 2003, I was, to my surprise, given the Global Leaders Award for Innovation by Berkeley, and went to Silicon Valley and was able to speak to all of the big tech companies, including NVIDIA. So we had Ericsson, we had all of them, together with Intel. And so what we have done is the Commonwealth has launched an AI consortium, bringing all the big tech companies together to see how we can craft a bridge, because there is at the moment a digital divide between the global north and the global south, and there are many countries who will be left behind if we don't bridge that technological divide. So what we have done is we also understand that for AI really to do that which it can do, everyone has to have access to it, as opposed to some of us having access. So with Intel, we've created an open source learning platform for leaders, so they can better understand the good things about AI, but also there are bad things about AI. So we need to imbue AI with our values, because valueless application of AI could actually be very detrimental to our world. And we've just launched, and this is open source data, an AI academy in which there are 6 different courses that young people can take. There's more than 1.5 billion young people in our Commonwealth, and I'm absolutely determined that everyone has access to it. And I want people not to be afraid of AI, but to see AI just like a tool, any other tool. I sometimes think it's like a scalpel. If you put a scalpel in the hands of a thoracic surgeon, they will save many, many lives. You put the same scalpel in the hands of a thug, and they can take lives. It's not the scalpel's fault. It is who wields it. And so we have to create the rules that will make it be wielded with care, with devotion, I would say, with love. But AI is going to radically change your generation's life more than anyone else's. But also, I think we need to be the creators of AI as opposed to the consumers of AI. And it's within your hands. But all of you, whatever discipline that you are currently studying, I would genuinely encourage you to master it, because it's like being told you have to do an exam, but you have no pen, and you have no computer, and you have no way to communicate. If you don't get into AI now, you will be left behind. And so I think you are the problem solvers of today and tomorrow, and if you master the new technology, our world will be a much safer place. So I bet you're sorry you asked that question.
Thank you, very good. Any girls? I want to give a chance to girls to ask a question. Go ahead.
Actually, I love the fact there's gender balance in this room.
Yes, we have
so
good gender balance. Yeah, you can use mine. That's mine.
Yeah. Firstly, my name is Sabina Mireva. I'm a senior student here at ADA. And I would like to firstly say how grateful we are for being able to sit here in this university and listen to such inspiring speakers and leaders. Meeting you is actually a privilege for us. So me and my group mates, we're writing our thesis dissertation, let's say, about COP29, because we decided to raise our voices as well. And this is one way we can do it. So in the paper, we highlight the importance of climate financing, and we say that this will be the actual top issue in the COP29 agenda. But at the same time, we decided to kind of suggest that Azerbaijan might also include other topics in the agenda that are not only on the regional level very important, but also on the global level. So we'll talk about the water management, because water scarcity is an issue in Azerbaijan. And at the same time, we'll talk about the sustainable urban planning. Would you like to ask you on the comments or elaboration on the topics? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, one of the major issues that we're looking at in the Living Lands Charter is water. because water will become the new gold. And how we use water, how we conserve it, how we develop appropriate measures in relation to it is critical. So if I would strongly invite you to look at what we're delivering on the Living Lands Charter, and we could really deal and do with everybody's help, because we're bringing action groups together to understand not just what we should and must do, but actually what we should not do. Because there are a number of things that we need to never do again, but we need to share that data to enable it to work. The issue in relation, so it's water, what's the second one? Yes, we've got not only sustainable markets, which is something that His Majesty the King has been moving, but we're also looking at sustainable urbanization. But we're looking also, and I've just written a forward for smart villages, because one of the things that we have to look at is making sure that urban development is symbiotically attuned to rural development. At the moment, you have like a guttural stop between the two of them, and yet we have to have a holistic approach. So the Commonwealth has been advocating a regenerative approach to sustainable development, which enables us to really look holistically at how we deliver change. Because one of the worrying things is we tend to look at it on a silo basis. So you can't actually look at urban development unless you really understand the impact it will have on rural. So urban and rural have to go hand in hand. And one of the first things I did within the 100 days of becoming Secretary-General is we brought together everyone, because what I discovered was that oceanologists only seemed to talk to oceanologists. Climatologists only talked to climatologists. Then there were those who were doing circular economy and symbiotic economy and biomimicry and urban development and rural development. Nobody was talking together. So we brought everybody together under one umbrella for 3 days, and we locked the doors, in effect, and we had some of the brightest and best people in the world. Instead of talking at each other, they talked with each other to come up with solutions. And at the end of that, we came to the view that we needed this regenerative approach to sustainable development in order to reverse climate change. And I first said that at the COP in 2016, 2017. And now we know, 8 years later, how true that is. So what I would say to you is, please, when you're writing it, talk about regenerative development, talk about a holistic approach, and within that holistic approach, then talk about what you think we should do on water and urbanization as part of the solution, but not separated from the other bits, because if we develop in silos, we won't get the solutions that we need. This is a new multidisciplinary approach. And I think